Well, we've had a great day. It's been a good day to be back at SAU. Been doing a lot of old acquaintances and classmates and the presentations, and so I'll try not to forget. Before you leave, there's a coffee cup for everyone here, and she wants everyone to gather in front. They will take a picture, and if anyone would like to tour any part of the campus, they've got provide transportation. Get you around, so stick around for that if you're interested in it. Just a couple of closing remarks that Zeb, I was listening to your presentation, and we share a similar, I guess, path. I was an ag teacher for 23 years, and then school superintendent for 21. After 44 years, I said, that's enough. But I know Mr. Childs preceded you, but he's such a presence here on this campus, I don't think his influence would ever leave it. One thing I remember Mr. Childs saying in several classes I took, Mr. Childs was real high on ag teachers. And he used to say this all the time. He said, being an ag teacher is a stepping stone to another job. He said, but it'll always be a step down. So as you go into this new phase, just remember you've devoted yourself quite well. I had a couple other stories I wanted to tell, a little thing, but I've realized at my age I forget things, and I'm so afraid that I get into it and then not remember how to finish it. And it reminded me of one last story. I'll tell this. And the young man, Clint, that's also a preacher, maybe this will help you as well. But I heard this story once of a young preacher, and he was going to a revival service because he heard this real famous evangelist that was going to be preaching at this revival. And he wanted to go hear him because he heard how good a speaker he was, and he wanted to go and even maybe learn something from him. So he went to attend the service. And the evangelist got up and he said, before I begin my sermon, he said, I've got a confession that I really need to make to get this off my chest. And so the congregation is listening, and the evangelist says, my confession is the best years of my life was spent in the arms of another man's wife. And he paused, and there was a little murmuring going on in the congregation, and he said, and I'd like to introduce her to you tonight. My mother is sitting in the front row. And the young preacher said, man, that's great. I'm going to use that. He said, matter of fact, I'm going to use that next Sunday because it's perfect. Next Sunday's Mother's Day, and my mother will be at church with me. So Sunday comes around, and after the preliminaries, they took up the offering and a few hymns, and came time for the sermon. The young preacher gets up, and boy, he's excited, and he's about ready to start the sermon. He said, I need to tell my congregation before I start the sermon, there's a confession that I really need to make to you. And he said, I just want to just tell you, the best years of my life were spent in the arms of another man's wife. And he paused. And you could feel the uneasiness of the congregation. And he kind of tapped his fingers on the pulpit. He said the second time was a little more volume. He said, the best years of my life were spent in the arms of another man's wife. And by this time there's some murmuring going on. And you can see the uneasiness on the faces. And then finally, the third time he said, the best years of my life were spent in the arms of another man's wife. And for the life of me, I can't remember her name. So I'm afraid to get started with a story because I won't remember how it ended. Again, it's been a great day. Glad to see, especially glad to see a lot of the classmates that I went to school with, and remembering the things we did and the ones that you can't remember. And it's just been a good time. And I, again, appreciate SAU and the different groups that have come in to make this possible day. Thank you very much. The tours are available. Don't forget about the picture. Don't forget about your coffee cup. And if you want to mingle around, just make yourself at home. Thank you.